Hey, what's up guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and in today's video I want to go ahead and talk about the long-term chart TA for Bitcoin, because the last couple of weeks have been very negative for Bitcoin, and we've talked about chart TA for quite a few videos so far, and especially in the last couple of weeks it's been kind of rough. We've seen the Bitcoin price basically just go nowhere over the last couple of weeks. But in today's video, I want to go ahead and zoom out and just take a look at the long term and what Bitcoin has been doing over, say, the last year, and what that can tell us about the potential price movements for the future. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to hit that like button, be sure to go ahead and follow me on Threads and on X as well. So Bitcoin, if we take a look at the weekly, has had a very interesting pattern over about the last 8 months. So Bitcoin, as you can see here, we've had a major dump off back in November, and then an establishment of a bottoming area right here. Then we saw a very strong breakout on the weekly that pushed us all the way back up again to about 21,000. Next, after that, we see over the past couple of weeks there, we see again another establishment of a support level, and then followed by another strong breakout here, another big weekly green candle. Next, after that, we saw something again very similar to where we broke out, we continued the breakout here, and then we saw a little bit of a decline, just like all these other ones we've seen so far, a very strong decline, followed by an establishment of support, and then another breakout, another big weekly green candle here. And Bitcoin has been following this pattern for the last 8 months. So what does that mean for our long-term chart TA? Well, what that means is that if Bitcoin can establish a support here, okay, the support here at about 28,500, which so far it has been able to. If it can establish this support level, then that would mean that following this pattern that we're going to get 1 week in which we see a big rise in the Bitcoin price. Now, the last times we've seen that, we've seen levels of 22% and 26% and about 15% in a single week. So we are, if we can hold this support level, we are due for another big green candle on the weekly, as long as this uptrend here holds. So I will caveat this by saying that it's entirely possible that the established support line could be a little bit lower, and we could wind up seeing it come down and dip a little bit more. This little bit of a downtrend here could actually come down just a little bit more, and then we could wind up seeing a big pop to the upside. But that being said, if this actually is the support that we've established, then we're going to wind up seeing a nice little pop to the upside within the next couple of weeks. And the reason why I think this is very possible is because Bitcoin has had a history of these weeks of sideways consolidation. We've seen multiple weeks here in the past 8 months, we've seen multiple weeks of nothing but sideways action, and that's usually followed by a breakout. And Bitcoin is setting up, I think, to do the exact same thing this time around. Now, if we do get that breakout and we do see that green candle, we could go all the way up here to about 35,000, maybe push past 35,000, move up to some strong resistance here at about, say, about 37,500. I think that's possible. That's definitely in play. And if you came up here to these levels here, you can see if we draw a line straight from those supports that were back in January of 2022, we can see here that we'd have a strong resistance here at about 37,700. That's where I would wind up putting some an upper boundary to the Bitcoin price. Now, that being said, this time could be different. It's entirely possible this time is different. But if the pattern holds, we will see a major increase in the Bitcoin price in the future. Now, I also want to go ahead and talk about the Bitcoin dominance as well. Bitcoin dominance has been still heading upwards. We can see here a very nice uptrend in Bitcoin dominance over time. And again, looking at the weekly, we can go ahead and pencil in a very nice uptrend that's still intact for Bitcoin dominance. And this is important because Bitcoin dominance tends to signify the sentiment of the market. So if Bitcoin dominance is heading up, that's more of an uncertain market. If Bitcoin dominance is heading down, then we start to see altcoin season, and we see altcoins go up in return. But right now, Bitcoin dominance has been in a long-term uptrend. Still, it has not broken through the resistance here at 52%. We're going to wind up seeing if it can do that or not. But it seems like to me, for now, we're at a major inflection point for Bitcoin dominance. Either it's going to go through the support line here at about 50%, or it's going to go through the resistance line here at about 52%. Should be very exciting over the next couple of weeks. Bitcoin is strong right now. If we look at our important Bitcoin network information, starting with our hash rate, we can see here that the hash rate over the last year has continued a very consistent uptrend and remains fairly high, fairly healthy, 286 exahashes per second. The Bitcoin network is incredibly healthy right now. Miners are doing well, and they're bringing on board new capacity, and they're making Bitcoin. They're mining Bitcoin at a more efficient rate as well. If we take a look at our active addresses, this is simple moving average for your Bitcoin addresses. Again, what we see here is a very similar situation where from the beginning of the year, or even all the way back about a year ago, we can see that we've had a significant increase in the number of active addresses, especially down from here about the 2022 low in December. We were down at 832,000, and now just recently we're up as high as about 1.1 million active addresses for Bitcoin. Very, very exciting. Nice little uptrend here. Now, if we take a look at our transactions, our transaction total, what we can see here is, again, 7-day moving average, a very strong increase from about a year ago, which we were at about 251,000 from a year ago, and now we're up here at about 462,000, so a doubling of the number of these transactions compared to where we were about a year ago. Again, very positive. Things are happening on the blockchain. The blockchain is being utilized, and despite a lot of the FUD around the regulatory actions the SEC has taken and the DOJ has taken, it is widely accepted that Bitcoin is a commodity and not a security. Very important that we all try to remember that. Next, very important also that we talk about the fees per transaction. So we've had an increase in the number of active addresses, we've had an increase in the number of transactions, but what we haven't seen is a very significant increase in the number of fees. Apart from this huge little spike we had back in May, with the Bitcoin ordinals hype, we haven't really seen a large spike in the number of fees. And right now, we're at about $1, 1.1 or just over $1 per transaction for Bitcoin. And again, very strong, very powerful metric right now we're looking at, and it seems to imply that people can send Bitcoin anywhere throughout the world to another address, and they're only paying about $1 to do so. And again, that's part of the magic of Bitcoin. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what's going to be going on next week. I always like to try to preview the week, but the most important thing that's happening next week is going to be, if we take a look at our economic calendar, we have some Fed presidents that are going to be speaking. There's nothing going on Monday. On Tuesday, we had Fed president speaking, and then we have Wednesday, we have some FOMC minutes. That's probably going to be the most important thing. There's going to be some people who try to read the tea leaves when it comes to the Federal Open Market Committee and try to determine what's going on with the FOMC and if they're getting hawkish or dovish. And then jobless claims on Thursday. So there are a couple of things coming out next week. Not huge events or anything that are going to be moving the market one way or another. But the next most important thing I think that's going to happen is going to be on the 23rd of August. This is going to be NVIDIA's earnings date. And NVIDIA's earnings date can tell us a lot about the state of the crypto market because NVIDIA sells graphics cards, and those graphics cards are used to mine Bitcoin and also some additional coins as well. So that should give us an idea of what's going on with the demand for these mining GPUs. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about the long-term chart TA, if you guys think that we're actually going to be heading towards another major increase in the price. If this holds, if this pattern here holds, we could wind up seeing a big increase in the price. And let me know what you guys plan on doing for your Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin, if you sold, if you're going to be buying something else perhaps, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.